Please welcome ServiceMax CEO, Dave Yarnold.
Welcome to our little party. Looks like everybody's getting started early. That's great. We've got a great 90-minute program for you. I'm really excited about it. Some new products, some great speakers. Great way to kick off Dreamforce for us and hopefully for you as well. Dreamforce is a pretty special thing for ServiceMax. And this is actually our 9th Dreamforce now. 9 Dreamforces. And we actually launched the product back in 2007 at Dreamforce. And I think about that very humble beginning, and I look at the progress we've made over time as we have grown to become Salesforce's 3rd largest native ISV now out of 2,700 partners. So we are the 3rd largest, which is a big accomplishment. One, we're very proud of that and the relationship. And nearly 500 customers, 400 employees. We're doing business around the world. We have a lot of guests here today from all parts of the globe, which we're thrilled about. And one thing I can say consistently is we've been dedicated to one mission, right? And that mission is the world of field service, supporting the world of service consistently, unleashing the power of service organizations globally, and recognizing the efforts of all the service teams and the service technicians around the world who literally are keeping our world running every day with their efforts. There's more than 20 million of them, and we're really proud of not only providing tools and technology to the service industry, but also elevating and recognizing the profession of service. I'm really passionate about this. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to start doing over the next couple of years to elevate not only the technology but the profession as well. So to do that, what we have created is the Connected Service Platform. We talk a lot about these components internally. We call them the 4 Ps, right? So the 4 Ps, I'll go through them briefly, and then we're going to dig into them in a lot of detail going forward. But it starts with your people, right? It starts with the folks that are getting the work done. So we believe that it's necessary to give those folks the tools they need, not only to record the work they're doing, but actually do better at their job, provide better service, do a better job for their companies. We talk about products. So at the core of a great field service platform is understanding the products that you've sold to all your customers and being able to track that at infinite levels of detail. The processes, all those infinite varieties of service that you provide to all of your customers to do the best possible job, derive the most value, deliver the most value for your customers, go into processes. And then the big thing is the promise that you make to your customers, which encompasses all of those different aspects, right? So delivering that specific outcome that your customers are looking for. Of course, we do that all in a mobile environment, on a platform that allows you to flexibly define what data you want your techs to go out in the field with. We allow you to do that on whatever platform you want to use, whatever operating system you want to use on the mobile, and of course, the Internet of Things, right? So connecting the physical with the digital is something that's core to our strategy. So this is the Connected Service Platform. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about Internet of Things, because that's what everybody's talking about right now, right? So IoT, our industry is amazing at taking some concept and just blowing it up in an unbelievable way. And, a year or two ago, it was big data. Before that, it was the cloud. Before that, it was social. IoT is a big deal today. And I'll tell you, I get invited to a couple of new conferences around IoT. I actually got this IoT coffee pot thing last week. How to build an IoT coffee pot. So the hype is unbelievable right now. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. There's actually some really serious research out there going on. And McKinsey actually asked the question, how do you monetize the value of IoT technology? And they came to the conclusion that was pretty interesting. They actually concluded that the hype actually underestimates the value to the economy of IoT technology. Their hypothesis is this is going to be a huge change in our society in a lot of different ways, and that the annual value of that to the economy will be up to $11 trillion. I had to train myself not to say billion, because that seems big enough to me, right? But $11 trillion annually by the year 2025. So a lot of that, we see the stories around consumer IoT. So the idea of, and there's some cool ideas out there. So houses that heat and cool automatically depending on who's in the house and where they are, what the weather's like outside. Really great advances in fitness and healthcare. So some pretty cool stuff. Some interesting stuff, right? I mean, do I really need this in my life, right? Right? Oh, hang on one second. Dear Dave, congratulations. You've now brushed your teeth 1,000 times this year, right? You get the gold hygiene badge. And oh, by the way, our sensors have detected that you need to replace this $100 toothbrush soon. So come back and buy another one. So, so IoT on the consumer side, a lot of great stuff, a lot of funny stuff in my mind. But where the bulk of the value is going to be, again, according to McKinsey, is on the B2B side, on the industrial side, in places like factories, hospitals, cities, retail outlets. We're going to see tremendous value coming out of this new IoT technology in a lot of different ways. And let me just touch briefly on some of those. First off, the data that you're going to get from those devices is going to give you infinite insights into how to take better advantage of the asset, how to get more out of that purchase and build a better business case for that big iron. Second, and I think probably the most well-known use case for industrial IoT is the idea of predictive maintenance. The fact that you'll know, based on all that data coming from all your machines, you'll know when to go out and service things, with the idea that you want to eliminate unplanned downtime for your customers and deliver on that. And third, and maybe most revolutionary in my mind, is the opportunity to open up new business models. And this is happening, and we've seen it happen in the software industry. We're going to see it a lot more across the manufacturing segment, where I will tell you that every financial analyst that I've been speaking to that covers manufacturing segment, manufacturers have said that every single manufacturer wants to go through the renaissance that's happened in the software industry, where we went from an industry of people selling licenses to an industry of companies. Now it's anything, it's software as a service. And they want to get to anything as a service because there's so much value in that particular model. It's a long-term revenue stream. It's an engaged customer relationship that happens over the long term, and it really is recession-proof. If you go back and you look at companies that had predominant amount of their revenue coming out of service through recessions, they're much healthier as they go through that. So it's a longer, healthier relationship. And we see a lot of great examples of this. The best one that I've seen is Rolls-Royce going to power by the hour, basically charging by the hour of uptime. And you see over time that the revenue that they get from their customers far exceeds what it would have if they just sold the aircraft engine. Companies like GE, for example, I think GE has $200 billion in the backlog from long-term service contracts and drives a high percentage of their profits from services. So it's a really desirable model facilitated by the advent of IoT technology. So really exciting stuff. A lot of the technology already exists today, right? These sensors are out there. They're relatively inexpensive. They're being deployed places like oil rigs, where there's 30,000 sensors in an average oil rig, based on the data I've seen. Unfortunately, only about 1% of that data is being used. In order to use that data, you need to have a system. You need to have a different type of system. You need to have a different type of operating system from what we're all operating on for a long time. A system with an ERP at its core, which is all about manufacturing products, and then a CRM system, which is all about selling those products and maximizing the profit on that. And then everything that happens afterwards. There's a word that I'm becoming increasingly unfond of, which is aftermarket. Think about aftermarket, and that's kind of how service operations are described quite often. How many of your companies call service aftermarket? There's a whole trade show called Aftermarket in Europe, right? And it's all about service operations. And to me, aftermarket equals afterthought, right? So you need a new system which takes this all into account. And that's something that we're very focused on. We're partnering with folks like PTC, who's here, who's a sponsor of this event, to provide the capability to access all that data, make sense of it, turn it into something actionable today. So as folks are looking at, how do I take advantage of the IoT technology and get some value out of it? Again, we are focused on providing that total solution, that connected service platform that will allow you to do that. So what we're going to do for the next hour or so is we're actually going to dig into the 4 Ps a little bit more and show you some new product stuff, really exciting.